friends. Welcome back to another Let's Finish What We Started process video. In today's video, I am going to be completing 5 layouts that are going to go inside of May's baby album. I have quite a few of the title pages. In fact, I think 4 out of 5 of these are title pages and 1 story to put together. And then all of the remaining stories that you're going to see next week and the week after are ones that I am still at the point of filming this, waiting to get some journaling and some photos so I can design and print and have everything ready to go. So then we'll be able to get the stories that I just need to put in the filler spots done and this album completed. Now, I am still going to put you on fast forward while I get all of these done. Once I have them done, we'll do a little flip through of everything I have created in today's video, and then we'll call it a day. So let's go ahead and dive in. All right, so jumping into my first layout for today, we're going to begin by working on my month number 9 divider. I've got the picture of Mabel, who is dressed up in her monthly onesie and set on the blanket that they've been using month after month to gauge how much she is growing and changing as the months go by. I've also pulled out the divider that's going to be at the front of this section. So this is a transparency that is 3 by 8 inches from an older collection. I think those were from the My Story collection from Allie Edwards, which was an album kit that you could get for a kid to fill out. Although it didn't necessarily need to be specifically for a kid, but it was definitely geared that way. So included in that project were these 12 different transparency dividers, which were perfect for documenting 12 months of Mabel's first year. Once I had the photo hole punched and put back into the album, I also put in the transparency, lined up the number 9 on top of it, and attached it with my tiny attacher. And then I finished it off just like I finished off every other monthly divider with 2 tiny phrase stickers stacked on top of each other and a chipboard star sticker. So that completes the beginning portion for this section. Now I've got a story that's also going into the 9-month section. This was a photo that I had taken on a day when the kids and I went to visit Mabel and Caitlin at their house. They were playing outside in this blow-up pool, and Mabel was just so stinking cute. So cute. So I had a whole bunch of pictures. I loved this one because, number 1, it fit in the orientation that I wanted it to go in inside of this 3 by 8 album. For photos, when you're working on taking photos for a skinny album like this, you just have to make sure to have your subject in the center of the photo, or wherever they are in the photo, keeping in mind that you need a lot of space to the right or the left or on both sides, so that when you crop your photo down, the subject is still fully in the photo, if that makes sense. So because I knew I was working on this album for her, I kept that in mind as I was taking photos. And then I also mentioned that to Caitlin, that when she would send me photos, to try and make them where they would fit in a skinnier orientation. I attached the Fun in the Sun acrylic piece, and then underneath that is a wood veneer piece, a wood veneer kind of tiny phrase sticker that says Bright Sunshiny Days. I attached both of those with roller adhesive. This is going to go inside of a pocket. And then to help fill in some of the white space on the top and the bottom, I used that yellow grid washi that I've used a couple other times in this album to add a section up at the top and a section down at the bottom, folding it over onto the back to help hold it into place. I'm also adding on a couple of puffy heart stickers just to add in a little bit more dimension, a little bit more interest onto the photo specifically. And then I have the tiny one in the upper right-hand corner of the journaling to help tie it all together. And I also put one last tiny phrase sticker at the bottom of my journaling that says Ready, Set, Go, because it felt a little plain to just have that be the yellow grid washi. Plus it pulls in that kind of orangey peachy, almost like watermelon type of pink color, and brings that to the bottom. Even though the tiny phrase sticker is a little bit darker than the title piece, I still think it works. I went ahead and hole punched everything, attached the photo or adhered the photos back to back. So the very first one there in this album, and then the second one of Mabel. And then once those are down inside the album, I'm also putting the journaling into a 3x8 pocket. And I have this ending pattern paper piece. So you see that there is a blank section there where there's an outside of the page protector page and then a 3x8 page. So that's going to become a second story in that 9-month area, but I don't have that one ready to go yet. So that's one of the stories that you'll see me putting together either next week or the week after. For the next section, so this is working now on our 10-month section, I actually had some stats from this month. I think this was the last month of stats that Caitlin had filled out and sent to me. I took some red ink there and stamped 10MO to stand for 10 months up at the top. And then I'm adhering the 10 months stats there to the back side of the monthly photo. Once they are adhered, I will then hole punch them so I can stick this all into the album. Now to go next to the monthly stats there, I could have created one of those filler types of pages where I stamped out all of the words, the 3 words that they used to describe her, and have that go in rainbow pattern. But I also had a couple of photos of my own from Mabel from this time of the year because they had come over to our house and we had done a few meetups with the moms and the kids. And so I wanted to use this as an opportunity to include one of the photos that I really liked from this particular month and add that in here instead. So the photo that you can see there of Mabel with her face shoved into an ice cream cone, that's just going to be a filler photo for this section here. That'll go right next to the 10-month stats. Before we get everything situated into the album, I'm going to add those sticker tabs up at the top that just say 10 months and help designate what section this is. And then we're going to put everything into the album because that's going to make positioning that number 10 on the transparency much easier. This is the first month that I'm doing, the first monthly divider, where I've got 2 different numbers to squeeze onto this 3x8 transparency. Now, all of them I've had go off the edge of the transparency and lining up more so with the edge of the photos behind it so that it fills in the gap of space. In order to get everything on the page, I will need to layer them together. So I'm putting the 1 on top of the 0. The nice thing about them being plastic is you can actually see the darker shading where the 2 are on top of each other. So you can still see that it is a 1 and a 0. And then for this one, I stapled the numbers together first, and then I stapled the whole piece onto the transparency. The 1 goes over top of one of the rings on the divider. So I did pull that back off and hole punched through the number 1 so it would lay flat on the transparency, and it works out totally fine. We're going to finish this one off with 2 tiny phrase stickers. This time I went with a teal color and then a star sticker on top of that. That one is a chipboard sticker, so it does have a little bit of dimension there. As I was flipping through the album, I realized that I had a couple of layouts that were not adhered back to back, so I'm just taking care of that really quick. But these are 2 layouts that I had done previously, one with the Paper Person Make a Splash kit and one using a Paige Evans cut file to create a title and some floral elements. I believe those are on my YouTube channel if you're interested in seeing them. I can't remember if that's where they are or if they're here on Patreon, but they are videos that I have pre-done. On the back side of the Love You Lots journaling bear, I added another piece of pattern paper to finish off the 10-month section, and that section is actually done. We have all of the stories that I met my goal for the number of stories, which is 2 per section, and then we also have the monthly stats. Now, month number 11 and month number 12, we don't have any stories currently ready to go. So these are also sections that you're going to see me working a little bit more in the rest of this month. What I do have are the monthly photo there of Mabel in her onesie at month 11. And then I have a photo from Mabel's birthday party that I took when she turned 1 year old, and that's going to be the photo that will be the entry point for month number 12. I do have one of the pattern papers cut out and ready to go, and I'm just going to go ahead and add my adhesive to the back of that, and then later I will realize that, oh, wait a second, I actually do have a story in here, so I can adhere the pieces back to back. So I guess month number 11 is only missing one story, but month number 12, there's not any. The number 11 was a little bit easier to squeeze onto the transparency here because the number ones are skinny. So I don't have to take those off in order to punch any additional holes, and I just have them slightly overlapping each other, and then again with the second one hanging off of the transparency to help fill in some of the section. I am adding those tiny phrase stickers. This time I'm using that watermelon color, and then added one of the larger green chipboard stars up at the top. This was another layout that I had completed earlier on using the Allie Edwards ampersand kit. And again, I can't remember if that one is on my YouTube channel or on Patreon, but it is somewhere. It can be found somewhere in my video archive. If you want to know where it is, let me know and I'll see if I can figure out where that video lives. And then we're going to finish this up by completing our 12-month entry pages. So this is where I've got the picture of Mabel that I took on her first birthday party for turning 1. And then I've got a pattern paper to add in the back as well. I do make a mistake here, and I accidentally punch the picture of Mabel wrong. So it's not really attached there at the bottom. I will repunch it, but I am not going to reprint it because I will eventually have a story that will go on the back side of this, and I will adhere them back to back with each other. So once that's done, it's not going to have a problem with staying on the rings, and you can't really even tell that I punched it wrong to begin with. So we're gonna leave it. We're gonna go with it. It'll be totally fine. Last, I need to attach on my number 12. This one, again, because the 2 is fairly large, I will need to have the 1 go over top of the hole here where one of the rings goes through it. So we'll hole punch the portion of the 1 there. That will allow it to lie flat. I did that first because I had a hard time positioning the 2 on top of the 1 when the 1 was pulling up. So then I've got the 2 on there that's now attached. I will take some tiny phrase stickers. This time I'm going with a blue color, and we will finish up this transparency by adding a super large green star up at the top. I loved the scale of this really big one. So that is where that's going to go. All right, so we'll add on the little tab stickers up at the top, and then I believe that is going to complete this. I do have some space in here to add 2 stories. That would be my goal, and then we'll be able to call this section done. So a couple more stories to go. I've got 2 more videos for the month, and I think about 8 more layouts to complete. All right, friends, that completes all of my layouts for today. So let's do a quick flip through here. We've got the intro to month number 9, Fun in the Sun, just a story about playing in the backyard in the little tub. This is going to be another story that I will build in either next week or the week after, but definitely before the end of the month. And then our final page here. Then we have month number 10, with the intro photo. I did have some stats from 10 months, and then I also have this cute little picture of May just eating an ice cream that I wanted to add in here as a filler. Next, I've got this Make a Splash, which was already a layout that was created, but this dictated what the size of the photo was going to be on the back side. And then I did go ahead and just adhere a couple of the other pages together. And then I've got the pattern paper here. So the 10-month section is complete. The 9-month section just needs one more story to add in there. Then we move on to month number 11. We have the intro page here. This, I will build a story to go in this section. Then I've got a story that was already done using the ampersand story kit, and then the pattern paper to complete month number 11. And then finishing us off here, I've got month number 12 with a picture from May's first birthday. I did punch this badly, but I'm actually going to build 2 additional stories into this section here. So once I have something that this adheres back to back with, it won't matter that my punching was off. It'll be totally fine. And then this is going to be the last pattern paper to finish out the album. I'm going to keep in this pocket here that says Create a Life You Love in case there's anything else that Caitlin or Alex would want to stick into this pocket. Maybe they wrote her a letter at some point, or who knows, but anything really could go into this pocket. And I'm also going to leave this little envelope here with the twist tie for adding any additional ephemera or memorabilia, anything that they might want to have in this album, so it's secured and with everything else. So just a couple more stories to finish out this section, and then each of the other albums, volume 1 and volume 2, this one is going to be volume 3. The other 2 albums also have a couple of stories that still need to be added into them in order to finish it out. So we are getting so close to having these albums done and ready to go, so I can gift them away to Caitlin, Alex, and baby May. All right, friends, I hope you enjoyed seeing how all of the layouts came together today, and I hope this inspires you to pull out some of your past unfinished projects and to join me in finishing what we have started. I will be back again next week with some more layouts for the baby albums here. Until then, I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye, friends.